Hello, dear friends, mermaid junkies. Listen, I'm not going to pretend that I am coming on here on my channel. It's been 2 months since I posted a video. I really don't know where this conversation or this video is going. And as many of you know, that in my past, when I was having a difficult time and I was going through my divorce with my ex-husband, it was a very transitional period for me, and it was a very difficult time. I feel like I have learned so much by living the law of attraction and Abraham Hicks videos, and really doing tons and tons of reading and research and all of that stuff, you know, just diving into psychological, personal development, all of that kind of stuff. And I feel like it's really helped me to become even more equipped. And I think many of you guys know that my middle son, Sawyer English, was brutal. He was brutally murdered 2 weeks ago. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do these videos, because I don't want you to ever think that I would want you to come on and listen to these videos because I'm like, oh, she's gonna, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna like lay out the line. You guys know I'm very, very transparent, and I feel like I need to talk, but I don't really know where this is going. And so it is going to probably be a rambling thing, because I just feel like writing it in my journal and blog posting about it is wonderful, and it's helped me immensely. But sometimes I want to use this channel once again as a way to find healing and figure out things on my own as I go through this process of healing and closure and all of those different kind of emotions and things that will happen when you have a child that dies, let alone a child that has been murdered, right? And they still don't have a suspect. And so I think that in my desire to teach, which has always been, I think I was born to do that, which I think most humans are born to teach. And words don't teach, only experiences. So it's not like I would think that anybody could. I think those of you that have experienced this, maybe you have a sibling, maybe you were really super close to, maybe you have a child that was murdered as well. Because it's not like I think I'm the first one that this has ever happened to. You know what I mean? I'm not in this sheltered perception of like, okay, now I'm going to use this as leverage to, grow a channel and do all this kind of stuff, which I feel like has somewhat happened with my particular situation. And that is, Sawyer and I had talked a couple of months before he passed, and we would always talk about death, and it wasn't a big extravagant topic, like, oh, we shouldn't talk about that kind of stuff. It was kind of like a very easy conversation, just like we would talk about the weather or whatever. It was just like, hey, when I die, hey, if I die, hey, when this happens. Because listen, none of us are getting out of this. Like, just depends on when you're going, but we're all going, right? And so Sawyer was very, laissez-faire about, is that a word? And I was too, like about dying. And anyway, it's just interesting that I have started to go over like the videos, not videos, but like just go over all texts and the things that we had talked about and stuff like that. He had come to visit me a month ago for Mother's Day, and I think that you guys are aware of that if you follow me on social media, which I think I have a Facebook and a somewhat of an Instagram, but I haven't been really consistent on that, just because I'm still, I'm a cuckoo bird when it comes to social media sometimes. Anyway, this has really put things into perspective. And so it's like, what I do, what Sawyer would want me to do, which is to carry on, Mommy. Like he would always say, carry on, I mean, like he would be graphic and say like, so-and-so, it happens every day, Mama. We're all dying, And I know that he is with me. And I feel like because I know so much about the law of attraction that and if you know anything about law of attraction and Abraham Hicks, which I follow immensely, that it's like it's a joking thing about, and not being like in a rude, crude way or anything like that, but it's just like Abraham talks about, like, we make it so serious. We make it seem like death is the end all, right? When it's actually just life, but in a different way. It's in non-physical now, not physical, right? And so I keep trying to remember that, because I think and Sawyer and I used to talk about that all the time, like, Mama, because he called me Mama and my beautiful mother, which I thought that was so sweet. But we were really, really super close. Out of all my children, and I think you guys know this too, is that I would always talk highly of Sawyer, because Sawyer was always that free spirit, just like I am. Even though I look all buttoned up and I'm in my little prairie, Victorian clothes, but I really am the kind of person that is a free spirit. And I know you guys know that about me, that I am very transparent. Let's just cut to the chase. You know what I mean? And that's just my way of, like, bringing levity, but also bringing this sense of, like, I'm very self-aware kind of thing, because it's like, how many times do we see people, or like even YouTubers, like, it's just very surface. It's very, like, not getting into the nuts and bolts of things. And I want to be able to teach in a way that is going to help people solve problems. Now, whether that is going to be mostly focused on my blog, which that is my main focus, which is bringing good content to you guys. I'm not going to make any promises, and you're probably, that sounds so awful too. It's like, you guys are the ones that pay my bills. Like, when I'm really consistent and when I'm really being consistent with my videos, AdSense, that's how I make my money. And you would think I wouldn't be so lazy about it, but you know how, like, sometimes you guys, that it's like, there's all these things that you could be doing, but you just, for some reason, you're just like freaking not doing them. And if you hear that in the background, that's my chickens, because I use this lighting, the natural lighting, because it's the best in the house. Anyway, but if you hear that, that's the little ladies. They see me and think I have treats or something. But so I think that, I know that this would be like, and maybe that's what I really need to dive into and really look at more so than being so like, it's not a big deal. I'll do a video when I feel like it, because I'm very feely. You know what I mean? I'm into my feelings, and I feel like, and I feel, and I feel, and I feel. But how many times are we churning out, like, and you can look at other people. Say, for instance, you look at other people, or like friends, or maybe other videos that are people that are very consistent. I know I watched this one YouTuber, and from the time of 2010, okay, so that means she's been on YouTube for 10 years, 9 years? What, 9 years? If it's 2010, like 9 years, right? And the woman has been consistent with having a video every Sunday for 10 years. That's some consistency, if you ask me. And I am not going to lie, I struggle with this, like, immensely, and how many times do we want to struggle doing something because maybe that's the universe trying to tell us that, maybe that's not your thing, Raquel. Maybe you don't struggle with your blog. Like, I never struggle with my blog. I never struggle with trying to find something to write or being consistent, like at least writing once a week. Now, when Sawyer passed, I did not write all week because I was just like, I was just, understandably, right? Justifiably. But as far as me really focused on my blog, because I think I've gained more direction as to where I want to go. Are you guys bored with this already? I wanted to shout out to the girl Daisy, which I thought was hilarious, that the day I found out Sawyer died, which is so interesting. Like, people, think about what you're doing and when you're typing. or if you really hate someone or you're really like disgusted with someone. Like the day I found out my son died, I got an email on the video that is the one with the Victorian, like why men love Victorian dressed women. I think that was the title or something like why men are fascinated with women or something. It was my last video, in 2 months. And this girl, Daisy, I don't know who she was. Like she didn't have a little, her avatar was just, a little head. It wasn't anything, but she said, I deleted it, but she put, you are mentally unstable. You need to get a life. And I was just thinking, I'm mentally unstable. Like I wanted to rip her a new one. You know what I mean? Like, first of all, you're watching a video about style and wearing a hat, and I'm mentally unstable. Like it didn't even make sense, you guys. And so anyway, the reason I was bringing that up is because that probably isn't even her name, Daisy. That's probably not even her name, because when I went to go to try to find like what an email or like a page or something, it was nothing. I couldn't find anything. But I don't want that stuff on my channel. But then you think about law of attraction, you're like, did I attract her? Because we can't always know what we're attracting until it gets worse sometimes, right? And so anyway, I know it's a mental issue going on in my head, you guys. Like, can you imagine this brain, 90 to nothing, 7:20?